Pleased to be joined here by Eli Beer, founder and director of United Hatzalah. What an emotional night here at the RJC Summit. I don't think there was anybody in that auditorium when you were giving your speech tonight that had dry eyes. What has this night been like for you, and the last few weeks been like for you?
Well, tonight it was like a night of hope. Looking at over 1,000 people in a room with senators and congressmen and people who are running for presidency, all saluting for Israel, all coming here to protect Israel. This whole, Republican Jewish Coalition event was all about Israel this year, everything. And me, as someone who's so involved with Israel, living in Israel, my son is in Israel in the army, my kids, my life is in Israel, really. So I actually look at this and I say, you know what? It gives us hope that Israel is going to be okay because we have America behind us. And it's unbelievable. Every candidate came here today and saying, we're going to fight for Israel and fight for the Jewish people. So for me, it was an uplifting moment to be here, and I'm going to go back and share it with the people in Israel.
You have seen over the last few weeks the worst of, I can't even call it humanity because it really wasn't human at all. Yet you leave here uplifted in some way. How do you carry that with you on a day-to-day basis going forward here with all you've dealt with over these last few weeks?
Well, listen, I see beautiful moments in my life all the time where I see people giving everything they have to save people, to help people. United Hatzalah is all about giving. Giving your time, giving your money, doing an effort. And here I also saw in the last few weeks volunteers giving their life. Literally their life. I saw volunteers who ran into the fire. They could have run away like everyone else because everyone's running. They ran towards the fire and not away from the fire, and they were doing God's work. And some of them gave their life, some of them were kidnapped. We had volunteers who were kidnapped. We had volunteers who were murdered. We had volunteers who were injured. And that showed me the beauty of the people, of Israelis, of the Jewish people. And I think very much like Americans, if you see 9/11, what happened, people running towards the building to help, the firefighters, the Hatzalah members, they're always running towards helping. And that gives me really another, moment of appreciation of what I do. But also I saw the most cruel people in the world. I actually saw a lot of terrorists alive and dead. I couldn't even look at the faces of the terrorists that were caught alive, and some of them were caught by our volunteers. It's caught them. I couldn't even look at the faces because they're such evil people. This is not regular evil. Enemies, let's say France fought against England for many years. They were killing each other, doing a lot of bad things, but they weren't doing anything compared to what this was done. This was another level of cruelty. They're not human. They're like aliens that were born for hatred. And they were nourished. They were actually breastfed by most anti-human, anti-Jewish, anti-everything. We were brought up by a family who taught us about being kind to each other. My father and mother always said, if you see someone, you don't know who they are. It could be Jewish, it could be not Jewish, it could be religious, it could be secular, it could be anyone. Someone needs help, you go help them. They were taught that anyone who's not like us, you kill. But not only kill, you could rape them, you could steal from them, you could behead them. That's how they were brought up, and this has to be stopped. Israel finally, after so many years, can't have any more pity for these people. These people are not even human. They just need to be stopped, and they're holding hostages of ours. And this is a very hard moment for all of us because we all know hostages. I know volunteers who are hostages. But we need to fight now for the security of 9 million people who want to live in peace. And many of them are not Jewish, by the way. Israel, as you know that. Some of them are not Jewish. They want to live peacefully. Hamas, if they take over Israel, every Arab living in Israel is in danger because they're going to kill part of them too.
Did you say your volunteers are being held hostage?
We have 2 volunteers hostage. We have volunteers' kids hostage. And we're fighting now for actually we're fighting for Israel, but we're not only fighting for Israel, we're fighting for the whole world because these people who are now fighting against Israel, they're not planning to stop at Israel. These are world movement of Muslim Brotherhood, Hamas, who are like ISIS, that want to continue everywhere else. And we need to stop them. Israel's only the guinea pig. And if we don't cut them now on the head, like they say, this is a regime from Iran who's helping them. I seen in my own eyes, I saw the terrorists, seeing them with the hatred towards us. It's not regular enemies.
United Hatzalah, its whole mission is to help others. What does your organization need right now?
Our organization needs more supplies. We emptied out all our warehouses. The first day of the war, the Simchas Torah, when I was supposed to go to synagogue with my family, I ended up in the dispatch and then in the south of Israel. We emptied out everything we have, all the trauma bags, all the defibrillators, everything on trucks down south. Soldiers who were coming down had no medical supplies because the army bases were hijacked by terrorists. They couldn't get supplies, so we gave everything either to our volunteers, paramedics. We're using them. Thank God we saved thousands of people. And the soldiers were able to use our equipment. Now we want to restock everything, get ready for the next battle, which is now started the invasion. We want to make sure we are protected in Israel. We want to get a 90-second response even during war. That's what we do. We go out to 2,000 calls every single day. In one point, we went up to 10,000 calls. Think about how many calls we were going. People were calling us. People were scared. Old people were hiding. We found a couple, Holocaust survivors with the tattoo on their arms that were 1 week in a shelter. They didn't eat. They didn't sleep. They were in a shelter, freezing shelter. The way we found them looked like they came out of the Auschwitz again. They looked like we just rescued them from Auschwitz. We want to make sure we have ambulances, we have everything we need, vehicles. So we're calling everyone to support United Hatzalah.
There are certain moments in life that change everything for people, for a country. Israel's going through one of those moments right now. How does it change United Hatzalah? How does that moment, that day, change what you do as an organization going forward?
Well, it's an interesting question because United Hatzalah is all about being ready any time of the day or night for anything. This is a book I just came out a few months ago called 90 Seconds. It's very interesting to see that the whole book is about getting ready for anything.
90 seconds is your mission to be able to respond to any emergency in 90 seconds.
Exactly. So we always spoke about 90 seconds. Look, an army, you see the army, an Israeli army, is really one of the most sophisticated armies in the world. They couldn't be there in 90 seconds. An army can never be, any army in the world takes hours or days to get ready for a war. United Hatzalah is always ready for war, but we were never even expecting anything close to this. We had 1,000 trauma kits ready for war, but here we needed 5,000 because of the magnitude of the situation. So now we're just preparing for another type of situation. Now, thank God, Israel woke up. We were a little sleepy, thinking they're never going to do this. This was a very complex situation where they had a lot of people who were involved with this from different countries. I would say, I don't want to mention names of countries that were not mentioned, but there would be a lot of investigation, hopefully by the Americans, to see who else besides Iranians were involved. So Israel was attacked heavily by a lot of countries who sponsored, who had intelligence, who had efforts, and we came out losing in the first day. But thank God we were able to stop what was done. 1,500 people killed and hostages. Many thousands were injured. We want to get ready for the next battle to secure Israel for many, many years. That this should never happen again. You love Israel. I think everyone who watches your show loves Israel. We don't want this ever to happen again. That's why we need to be a strong country again. We suffered a lot the last few weeks. I personally did. And I'm going to make sure that United Hatzalah is going to be ready for any situation.
You're doing God's work. Eli Beer from United Hatzalah.
Thank you so much. I love being on your show. And our website is israelrescue.org. So anyone could look us up, israelrescue.org, and find us.
Israelrescue.org. Eli Beer from United Hatzalah joining us here from the RJC Summit.